Revelation coming out of northeast India right now. A series of 10,000-year-old rock paintings depicting UFOs and aliens has just been discovered. The State Department of Archaeology and Culture plans to seek NASA and ISRO, that's the Indian Space Research Organization. Who knew they had a space research organization? But they do, and they're going to come and look at these paintings for research which, according to the archaeologist, depict fan-like antennae and three-legged, there you go, and three-legged vehicles. The paintings are, any similarity, he says, to popular depictions of aliens or UFOs in movies, Bollywood, Hollywood, are purely coincidental, he says. He goes on to say the following, quote, "The findings suggest that humans in prehistoric times may have seen or imagined beings from other planets which still create curiosity among people and researchers. Extensive research is needed for further findings. Chhattisgarh, which is where the place is where they've been found, presently doesn't have any such expert who could give clarity on the subject."
Indian culture is full of these kind of stories, actually. The Hindu culture, and going back to the Akashic records, these kind of stories go back thousands and thousands of years. So I'm not surprised by this.
Right. I mean, they just look a little, I don't know, I'm no expert on this, but his next statement, he makes trouble me, and I want to know what you think of it. Quote, this is what the archaeologist who discovered all this has gone on to say, quote, "The paintings are done in the natural colours that have hardly faded despite the years. The strangely carved figures are seen holding weapon-like objects and do not have clear features. Especially the nose and mouth are missing. In few pictures," I guess he meant to say in few pictures, they are even shown wearing spacesuits. "We can't refute the possibility of imagination by prehistoric men, but humans usually fancy such things." So
and you're skeptical?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he said these are 10,000 years old, and he himself says they look kind of fresh. I mean, that does...
But they're in a cave. So
Well, they're on a rock wall. It doesn't say cave. It looks like that's outside to me. Why have they only just been discovered? That's my next question.
I think we're just hearing about it. I think the Indian culture probably knows about this. This has been for thousands of years, like I said. And their Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, these stories go back. In fact, according to their records, human civilization goes back millions of years. And that we're just the latest civilization. So these stories are old hat there.
Right, well, I mean, apparently the people don't actually worship there. Just to expand on that little point, the people in the village don't necessarily go and worship there, but they do tell stories about so-called Rohila people, which are translated as the small-sized ones, that came down in circular objects or circular vessels and occasionally absconded a couple of people from the village and then disappeared off.
Right. Now, I've heard it referred to as descended in robes of light. And you can make the same corollary between that and an ascension of their masters, the Hindu masters. They make a corollary between these things. So
you're buying? I mean, are you?
I'm saying that this is not unfamiliar to the culture there.
I'm looking at you. I'm kind of shocked by your response. I got to be honest with you.
I was going to be all skeptical.
Yeah, you're giving a lot of credibility to this. I'm going to follow this because we need to follow this. I need to get to the bottom of this. I'm deeply skeptical. I'd love to know your thoughts. Whether you think this is legitimate, whether there's other instances of this that back this up, as Mark is suggesting, and he's looking at me as though I'm the most cynical person on earth. And of course, aliens existed and they were here before us. Don't you know?
I'm not saying. I'm saying they believe that, and I'm saying it's in their records, and it's part of their culture.
But okay, I mean, we could go back and forth on this. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let us know. Have you been there? Have you been to this part of this remote tribal region in northeast India and seen these things? Are you motivated now to go? Let us know your thoughts, alien abductions or otherwise. And as always, subscribe to LIP TV.